morning, everything is opening instead of closing when we saw it yesterday.
Yeah, everything was closing at night. Way better when I went to that truck was up here at when I went to that
Yeah, it's like this. Okay guys, this is the front view of the Embassy of the United States. Keep in mind that this is the land owned by America, if you didn't hear me say that yesterday. Also, when we turn the corner, look to your left, and you can see the very, very castle-y looking part of the Connaught building that I was pointing out yesterday. Now that we're not standing at the foot of it, you can see the turret on top. Okay, eyes open to the left. On your left is the Reconciliation Monument. Reconciliation Monument is there to honor all of the United Nations and peacekeeping work that Canada does. So you can see that there are two figures there. I actually have some interesting information for you. There's usually three. There's usually another woman on there. In the winter, water entered into the statue and froze and actually exploded the statue of the woman. So she's in repair right now, and we're hoping to see her back in the next couple weeks. But yeah, there's usually three figures. And something that I'm sure you'll all notice in about 2 seconds on the right side of the bus is a giant spider. Yeah. Okay, this is called Mama. Mom in French, Mama. And Mama is outside of the National Gallery of Canada. That's this nice glass building we see here. And it's a female spider. There's a lot of different interpretations about what it means. I like to think that maybe it's watching over the city, or it's there to scare people off. I'm not really sure. You can put your own interpretation on that. Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a statue coming up on your right-hand side, up the very top. Yeah, you'll be able to see it. And this is Samuel de Champlain. Does anybody have Samuel de Champlain on their character card? Yeah, awesome. So Samuel de Champlain actually was sailing on the Ottawa River and discovered this area, the Quebec side and the Ontario-Ottawa side. Very cool. Okay, so we're crossing the Victoria Bridge over what body of water? What's underneath us right now? The Ottawa River, guys. The Ottawa River. Exactly. So keep in mind, if it is straight and thin, it's the Rideau Canal. If it's big and foamy and wide, it's the Ottawa River, okay? So, we are crossing onto the other side. I need you guys to be quiet, please, because I have some very interesting information to tell you. We're crossing onto the Quebec side. This is called Hull, H-U-L-L. The building on your left is the Museum of Civilization. Now, you guys, since we're crossing into the Quebec side, I need you all to duck down unless you have your passport, okay? So I'm going to get my passport out, and if everybody can do the same, and if you don't have it, there are security cameras that, like, take the pictures. So if you don't have it, you need to duck down so the pictures can't get you. Like, no, seriously, like, unless you, like, get your passport out, and if not, there's cameras on those next flashlights. But, okay, why do we not need to show our passports when we're crossing from Ontario to Quebec? Because it's still part of Canada. Okay? Has anybody heard of the referendum? Have we heard of the referendum? A couple? Okay. So, we are actually lucky that Quebec is still a part of Canada. There has been 3 referendum votes where Quebec, the population of Quebec, everybody living, Francophone and Anglophone, got to vote on whether they wanted Quebec to stay a part of Canada or not. And it was very, very close, you guys. It was 49 to 51% that they would stay with us. Okay, so Bloc Québécois, I'm sure you've heard a bit of their arguments towards being a separatist Quebec from Canada, and we're very lucky that we don't have to worry too much about that. Just, I'm not talking about Museum of Vids, because we're going to be here tomorrow, and I can talk about it then, okay? So, I just want everybody to keep in mind that we're lucky that we can just cross into Quebec and see everything that Quebec has to offer without going through customs and changing our currency or having a different time zone and everything like that. Questions?
So we're in Quebec?
We're in Quebec right now, yes. We crossed over the Ottawa River, which serves as the border. So when we're on the bridge, now we're on the other side. And we're in Hull, which is the city we're in Quebec. No, we can't go to Montreal. It's still another couple hours. Sorry. You guys can sign up for Montreal next year, though. I'm also a Montreal guide. So what can we notice that's different in Quebec now that we're crossed over to the French side?
Everything is French.
Everything is French. Street names. And anything that we see in French and English, the French is first, correct? What is different about these stoplights coming up? They are very different. They are horizontal. Excellent. They're horizontal. Anyone know why? Because they're French. Are French people always horizontal? Oh, I did not mean that. Get that out of your minds. Okay. So yeah, they're horizontal. This is for a few different reasons. Farther in Montreal, it's kind of a rumor, it's kind of half true, half a rumor, that a lot of French people are colorblind. They definitely have a larger colorblind population. So they're horizontal so that the lights can distinguish themselves more easily than the horizontal. Because you guys have probably noticed the lights kind of blend in together. You know, you're not really sure if it's yellow or red. So if it's horizontal, apparently it's a little easier to see. And in Montreal, it's not the same here, but in Montreal, green is an arrow, amber, yellow is a diamond, and red is the full circle. So they actually have different shapes that make it easier for the colorblind patrons of the streets. Okay, I will talk about Museum of Civilization that we pass tomorrow because we're back for an IMAX. Okay, and just as quickly as we were here, now we're leaving. We're leaving Quebec. We did a nice little detour. We're just driving around. We're seeing things we want to see. I want to talk to you guys about the tulips that we've seen everywhere. Yesterday at Majors Hill Park, that was the park that I had you looking over the banister at Parliament and the Locks. In Majors Hill Park, you could see a lot more tulips, right? There was tents set up everywhere. There was a lot of construction going on. But the tulips are kind of fading, right? A few of them you noticed were dead. Some of them are still nice. This is because the Tulip Festival was 2 weeks ago. So, Tulip Festival obviously means there's a lot of tulips around. Does anybody know why Ottawa has a Tulip Festival? Yeah? Guess? It's the official flower? No. Good guess, though. What country is kind of known for tulips? Does anybody know? When you think of tulips, what country do you think of? They also are famous for windmills and wooden shoes. Yeah.
Ireland.
Not Ireland. I heard it. Well, Dutch is the language they speak. Holland, Netherlands. Yes. Okay. Excellent. I like our detective work. Okay. So the Tulip Festival in Ottawa is a festival that has been going on for so long, since Canada became a country, because the Netherlands gave us a huge gift of all of these tulips when we first became a country. When Ottawa first became the capital in Canada, the Netherlands said, you guys are really pretty, but, you don't have any flowers. So I don't know why they did, but kind of to symbolize peace and a gift for the new